one good thing about social media lead generation is, aside from just, cold calling the leads that you found from that list, the VAs that you hire to work on these leads can also engage with them. So that way, when we upload it to the CRM or something, you have already an initial touch to this leads before you contact them.
So I'm super excited for this episode of Leverage. I get the joy of representing all of the real estate people out there that need help in social media. I do have a VA that does all my social media, so I don't know how to do it. Just so everyone's clear, I am not a social media expert. That's why we have, well, I can't tell if everyone can see me pointing at you, but on my screen, you're next to me. So Ken, hi.
Hello, Laurie. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what you have to talk about and share with everyone, because again, I am not a social media expert by any stretch of the imagination. People can look at my social media and go, oh, wow, she's got it together. No, my VA has it together, not me.
Right. And actually, that's something that we can talk about right now, Laurie. Our topic for today is more on the generating leads using your social media or using different social media platforms. So I guess we can start. Let me just share my screen. Hold on. Here you go. Can you see it now?
Yes, I see it now. Social media lead generation with virtual assistants.
Yep. So before we start, guys, there are a lot of ways to generate leads, through different social media platforms and different ways. But right now, we'll be focusing more on the social media part and how your virtual assistant can help you generate leads. Okay, before we start, by the way, guys, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Ken. I've been with Virtudesk for almost 2 years now. I am an executive virtual assistant, but I specialize in lead generation. Okay.
I didn't introduce myself either. Hey guys.
We forget to introduce ourselves.
I'm like, oh, let's just get into it. People don't care who we are. I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm Lorraine Parker. I'm a managing broker with EXP. I've owned 6 real estate companies, and rather than continuing owning my own companies, we took the brokers who were at the company I was a designated broker for, and we moved everyone to EXP. We're loving it there. And I'm just super excited to be here. I've done a lot of these with Tristan, who's like a complete pro, with Pavel, with Seema, like with all the leverage people. And now here I am by myself going, oh yeah, just get started. So hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited to learn more about this because like I said, I am not a social media person. So I don't want people to send me questions going, oh, hey, you were hosting this. I'm like, no, I'm here learning what my VA, who's also an executive assistant with Virtudesk. I adore my VA. I've had him for 2 years. We've grown the team with more VAs, and he handles all of it for me. So I'm excited to learn how this lead generation, what you do with that.
Sure. And not all businesses, Laura, is actually doing this. So this is really interesting, not all businesses are using their social media platforms to generate leads. Before we start, guys, let's define first what is social media lead generation, though it's already obvious, Social media lead generation, guys, is the process of collecting new leads using social media. Now, some of you might be asking why this is important. Of course, when we generate leads on social media, it helps businesses identify the social media audiences that are interested in the products or services that they are offering. So that is the importance of having lead generation for social media as well. And for social media lead generation, guys, these are some of the things that we are using or tools that we're using. Of course, you need to have a communication tool, and we're using Skype for that. We also have our project management tool, which is ClickUp, but you can use any other tools out there. There's actually a lot. We have Asana, Trello. So anything as long as you're comfortable using it. And for the CRM, we're using Follow Up Boss. We're not promoting the CRM, guys. You could use any other CRMs out there as long as, it depends on your needs actually. And if you are into the lead generation business, you should also have research tools. For that, we have Google Analytics as well as SEMrush. For those of you who is not familiar with SEMrush is actually an SEO
I'm not
tool.
familiar with SEMrush, just so you
Oh,
know. But I was going to add in, one of the ways that I talk is WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger as well. Of course, CRMs, you can use whichever one, but I like to add that in there because a lot of times people are scared when people say Skype because it's another program to learn. So there's tons of ways to communicate. I've used Trello,
exactly.
I've used all that.
Yeah, and that's also something that you could talk to your VA, especially if you're just starting a team out. You need to ask them the best way to communicate. So for us, it's Skype. And for SEMrush, guys, as mentioned a while ago, this is an SEO tool. It is usually used to optimize your website, but this can be used as well as a research tool, especially if you would like to research more on the type of leads that you would like to get on different social media platforms. And also we have LinkedIn ads. This is the tool that we're using when we're trying to post a lead generation ad on LinkedIn. And of course, we have the classic Google Sheets where we track all the leads that we found from different social media platforms. And this is also something that we use when we try to create reports. Okay.
One thing I do want to touch in is with Virtudesk, the cool thing is your VA is already trained in how to use these things. It's not something you have to know. Because again, I don't know this stuff like at all. And we use this, and not only does my VA communicate with me, but he also has taught me how to use some of these tools because he's trained. You don't get a VA that doesn't know how to use any of this stuff. They're trained. So I love to make that point because a lot of times if you hire VAs from other companies, people get upset because they aren't trained. So again, sorry, just try and put in points where I know I had issues.
Yeah, that's actually correct. Before we started our onboarding, or before we were able to handle clients, we are trained to use this particular tool. So that way, when we start with the client, we'll already know how to use it, and the client just provide us the instructions. Okay. And so this is the lead generation process that we're following here in Virtudesk, Laurie. So of course, if you're just starting out with the social media lead generation, first thing that you need to know is to do is to identify the type of leads that you will be targeting. So you need to specify the job title, location, industry, as well as keywords. Now for Virtudesk, we can target any job titles because as long as the task could be done virtually, definitely we could go ahead and help you out with that. For location, we are servicing US and Canada, so those are our target locations. If you're a real estate agent and you would like to go hyper local, of course, you can target a certain area of your city if you would like to do that. And for industries, same thing. We target all industries. And keywords, this is important. This is where SEMrush can help you, the tool that I mentioned a while ago. So if you would like to know the common keywords that your potential leads are using when they try to search your product or service, then definitely you should also have a list of that. And once you are able to identify the type of leads that you need to target on different social media platforms, you also need, of course, to pick the best lead sources or social media platforms, because you don't have all day to check all the social media platforms. So you need to have like a hierarchy of the best social media platforms that you could focus on. For that one, what we are checking on our team is we are checking the number of leads per platform, and also the engagement rate and responses that we're getting on those particular platforms.
And you tell your clients, you advise them because you're tracking that. So you let them know kind of where the ad spend is going to be the most productive, depending on whether they're looking to grow their brokerage, grow their team, or get leads that are clients, right?
Right. And we also provide suggestion as to what would be the best way to promote the ad, depending on the responses that we're getting on those social media platforms. Now, I would like to focus that these are the two criteria that I mentioned goes hand in hand. Because if you're just getting a lot of leads, but you're not getting any responses, then definitely that's useless. Okay. Let me give you an example of this, guys. Before, we've been searching leads on Reddit, if you're familiar with the platform. So on Reddit, majority of the users are anonymous. So
I feel
if
like a
we're,
lot of people have learned Reddit recently. Could
uh-huh,
be crypto, could be all kinds of things. I didn't even know
yeah,
what Reddit
anything.
was until about 6 months ago. And now I'm like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, Reddit. Oh, I'm on it.
Right. Anything under the sun you can talk about. So there are different groups on Reddit where you can join, about certain topics. So that's really broad. Example is Reddit, guys. We're able to get, let's say, 10 leads a month, but only 2 or 3 will be responding to our messages or comments. So it's really different when you go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional community, as you all know. So if we find, let's say, 10 leads in a month, around 8 or 9 of which will be responding to our messages. So because of that, since we're not getting a lot of responses coming from the platform, of course, we need to change the focus, and we've been focusing on LinkedIn so far.
It's really
Now,
interesting because I've never thought of Reddit as a lead gen place. So, like I said, I'm here learning as much as
yeah.
anyone watching. So I love hearing these ideas. LinkedIn, I am really bad at managing my LinkedIn. I will own it. But again, it's great to just have those reminders. And that's what
Mhm,
I love about the leverage program is just hearing, oh yeah, good
mhm.
reminder. I feel like I should be texting Jay during this, like, oh, hey, what about
To
this?
check those platforms, right?
That's awesome. I love it. Thanks.
Yeah. And after you were able to identify the best lead sources, of course, you need to choose the type of approach for different platforms. Again, not all platforms are created equal. So if you're in Reddit and you try to engage with them, since the platform is built for anonymous usage, so if you're going to ask their contact information, most likely they're not going to provide it to you. So you need to choose a different approach. So what do? You, instead of you asking their information, you could redirect them directly, to the website. That way, they will be able to see information about your service. And at the same time, they would like to provide their details in the contact form. They will be the one to do it instead of you asking for it. Now on LinkedIn, again, it's a different thing. When you try to engage with them, they're responsive. So when you ask for their contact information, if they would like to set up an appointment, they provide it to you readily and immediately. So it's easy. Now with Facebook, it's different because instead of you just providing the details to your potential leads about your service or product, it's more community engagement, I can say. If you are running a business or if you have products or services, it's better if you can create a community like what we're doing in the leverage group. So that way, people will be able to see, resources about your service, and they will be able to see as well the responses coming from the different customers that you're getting. So that's somehow nurturing your leads and your existing leads as well.
Now, can I ask, when you get the contact information, are you
Mhm.
adding it to your CRM just to
Yes,
add into? Okay,
of
awesome.
course. And we also ask for their permission every time we do that for privacy concerns. So, and we don't send marketing materials if in case we're not able to get their permission as well. Okay.
Awesome. That's all really good information. And again, even if you've heard it before, it's nice to have that reminder. So I love this. Keep going. Sorry.
Mhm. And these are, by the way, the reports that we are discussing every week and every month. This is a sample report on the sources or lead sources or
I
leads that
do
we
want to
found.
ask something because
Sure.
Gabby had chatted this. She
Mm-hmm.
wanted to know if it's better to have a VA do lead gen versus buying leads. And if it's okay for me to
Oh.
answer that, because I'm just going to own something, guys. I was spending $20,000 a month on Zillow leads. And that was for a whole brokerage. It wasn't just for me, right? But the leads were not the best. My leads from my VA
Mm-hmm.
are 100 times better. They've talked with a live person, they've set an appointment, they've provided all the contact information. So I just really feel that the VA, before I get the lead, they've talked to them. So in my experience, 100% VA leads I will take over paid leads
Mm-hmm.
every day of the week, twice on Sunday. So
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to answer that and touch on that. So I'm really excited to see more about the lead generation report and explain these graphics.
And by the way, Laurie, I totally agree with you. One good thing about social media lead generation is, aside from just, cold calling the leads that you found from that list, the VAs that you hire to, to work on these leads can also engage with them. So that way, when we upload it to the CRM or something, you have already an initial touch to this leads before you contact them. Okay.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and again, these are the sample reports that we have for social media lead generation. So this is the performance of our team for the month of March. So you can see we're able to find around 100 plus leads last month, 51 of which came from LinkedIn. We also have some from Facebook, 36, Twitter, 17, and the rest would be Instagram.
This LinkedIn numbers are absolutely killing me because I ignore social media, and I'm looking at this going, oh, I just want to cry. This LinkedIn, I mean, it's awesome, and I thank you so much for sharing this, because it's just another reminder. I've got to put my VA on LinkedIn. So
yeah. I'm not trying to promote LinkedIn as well, guys, but if you're trying to create connections, if you're trying to to have professional connections on
growing a team,
growing a team,
growing a brokerage, because the last brokerage I was running, I went from under 40 to over 80 in a year. So before that, I owned a brokerage that had about 150 brokers, and we really didn't use social media. But looking at this, I'm like, oh, for growing a team or a brokerage, LinkedIn would be amazing and perfect. And seeing these stats, I'm like, thank you for changing my goals up a little bit and directing my team. So I appreciate it very much.
Sure. If you need help, Laurie, I can talk to you after the webinar. I'll be more than happy to help you. And aside from this, guys, of course, we also measured already the engagement that we're getting from these leads. So I was not able to add it in this report, but this is just a sample report of the leads that we found. Aside from this, you should also know the number of visitors that you're getting on different social media platforms to your website. So that way, it will also give you an idea as to what to focus on. If you're going to check this report on the right side of the screen, Facebook is, of course, number one. We have around 1,000 sessions from Facebook alone. Instagram, second, 218, and LinkedIn, 203. Now, last year,
one of the questions that we have that came in on the Q&As right now, they're asking about Craigslist. Now, it's not pictured on here, and I will tell you right now, I don't use Craigslist at all. It's a little too scammy for me. I haven't really gotten anything from Craigslist, so it's not something that I personally use. It could be my area, and I don't want to ever dissuade anyone from trying anything if they think it's working for them, but I don't see it even as a blip on here. So maybe you could talk about Craigslist.
Yeah, we actually tried checking on Craigslist as well before, Laurie, but same with you, we're not getting any results from the platform. So again, you need to really know your focus platform, because you don't have all day to check those social media platforms. So what we did is we removed anything that any platform that we're not getting any results, and we only focus on the platforms where we're getting results, and that's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Perfect. So we do have I feel like we answered the social media, what platform is that you're using to get leads right now. We did have someone ask that. We also had someone ask, how are your VAs generating leads? Are they using social media exclusively? So right today, our topic is social media. Now, I do have VAs that work on other things, but today we really want to concentrate on social media. And that's what this program is about. But I know there's other shows and other topics on different times, but I definitely want to stick to social media today. But do you do anything other than social media to generate leads?
Yeah, there as what I mentioned a while ago, there are a lot of ways to generate leads, but right now we'll be focusing more on social media. Of course, we can use also the strategy that you mentioned a while ago, like buying list It is also something, but of course, you also need to consider the quality of the leads that you're getting, because if you're just buying the leads from somewhere else, it's useless,
And you don't know how many other people got the exact same list and
Exactly.
all that kind of stuff. So that's where social media, it's really nice because you're engaging with them on social media, whether it's through a post, whether it's through, chats. I know Facebook chats like Messenger, they definitely get a lot of interest when we're advertising a house on our, ads or on pages. So,
All right.
yeah, awesome. What's our next slide about?
Oh, before we go to, I guess I already
Sorry.
discussed this, so that's fine. I just want to mention as well that last year, LinkedIn was actually second on the number of sessions that we're getting per platform going to the website or traffic on the website. But right now, as you can see, Instagram is already in the second spot. So if you have this report as well and you have a social media lead generation virtual assistant, this is something that you can talk to him or her, and then you could try to ask them to check on Instagram as to what's going on, as to why we're getting a lot of traffic from that platform. So that way, there might be some updates that you don't know, and then there might be some leads that we're not able to check on that particular platform. So that is the importance as well of checking the number of sessions that you're getting per different platforms. And the next topic would be about social media lead generation strategies. So these are some of the strategies that we're using when we're trying to search for leads on different social media platforms. We do have the direct search. So for the direct search, of course, we're searching for different social media posts of potential leads looking for the services that we offer. Could be in groups, could be in public posts. And when we try to search for potential leads, guys, through direct post, we just don't promote the services or the products right away, like hard selling or something. We also try to ask them follow-up questions. We also answer their basic inquiries about the services that we offer. We provide the resources if necessary. So for example, with Virtudesk, if they're interested to hire a virtual assistant, but they don't know the tasks that they can delegate, what you can do is provide them a checklist about the tasks that VAs can do. If you're a real estate agent and you would like to know something about this particular property, then that's something that you could also, provide them. If you could also generate a report, let's say, on their property, then that's something that you could provide to them. And of course, we can also set up consultations. So if in case you were able to engage with the potential lead and they would like to learn more about the service, they would like to talk to someone, that's a time that we can set up a consultation call.
And
And if,
that's so great when it's set up that way, because you've already been
yeah.
engaging with them and you've answered some of the questions, but my VA knows, oh, you know what, this is something Lori really needs to answer. And that's when he sets up, hey, would you like to set up a call with Lori? And, kind of gives them a
Right.
little bit of background. And then you're coming on the call and it's not like you're even trying to solicit them. You're there to provide knowledge, and it's such a great setup done that way.
Right. That's the trend right now in social media. We really need to provide value in everything that we post or share. It's not just about selling your product, but also providing value to the persons looking at it.
We do
And
have an attendee that asked, what if I can't find leads who are interested enough to talk to a sales rep? What do I do? How do I change my strategy? I know my answer is you just keep engaging with them.
Right.
And it's just a continual follow-up until they are interested in talking.
I totally agree. We actually have leads that, let's say from 2 months ago, they stopped responding to our messages after we engaged with them. But after a couple of months, they remembered us. So they message us again, asking about the service, if they would like to set up a consultation call with someone. So, it's just constant engagement. And even though, let's say, the engagement already stops, if they need to have the service, they would remember you. So they would still be contacting you,
And I will one up you on the couple months. I've had some leads that were 7 years in the follow-up queue, continually calling, letting know about client events, like all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, okay, I'm pre-approved and ready to buy. And you're like, huh? Oh yeah, we have our house to list too. We've been waiting to work with you.
Nice. Right. So that is where engagement is really important. People will remember you.
And that's one of the things my VAs and their follow-up, champs. You guys don't give up. You're like always following up, text, call, email, Facebook Messenger, like whatever way they communicate. It's been awesome to see the follow-up. So
right. I totally agree with you, Laurie. And of course, there are some leads as well who are interested with your service, but they don't want to talk with someone else, but they just want to have more details about your product, just like Reddit is what I mentioned a while ago. Then that's the time that you can redirect them to the website. That way they will be able to see the pricing, the blog post that you have, and also if they would like to set up a consultation call, you can do it also by themselves. So that is also something that you can do. Second strategy would be, let me just check. Yeah, these are actually sample conversations that we have with the leads that we found on different social media platforms. So as you can see, guys, we're not just providing the service or pitching the service that we have right away. We also answer their inquiries about the service, like how can I hire them, or what kind of services do you provide, phone calls, something like that. So we answer those questions. That's something that you can delegate to a social media lead generation virtual assistant. So we all know that this is really time consuming, especially if you're receiving around 200 messages a day. So if you have virtual assistant to help you answer those questions, then definitely that is a time saving.
It's the only way, in my opinion, now to do business is to have a team and help when you're going through the follow-up. You can't do it alone.
Right.
Or unless that's all you do. You don't have a life, you don't have kids, you don't have like a significant other. You're just like follow up. I mean, that's the only way that you would get that done.
Right. And of course, not all messages could be answered by your VA. So that's a time that they could ask for your help. So let's say they have 100 messages and they will be able to answer 75. So you'll only be dealing with the other 25 messages, right? So it's still a time, you'll still be saving some time by doing that.
And those people aren't just left alone or left out to dry. They're still getting communication. And 9 times out of 10, they don't even realize it's not me communicating.
Right, exactly. Because as time goes by, your VA will pick up as well the way you communicate with your leads. And that's also something that you can talk about with them. So if in case there are things that they would like to clarify as to how to respond to this particular lead, you can provide them the details so that next time they already know how to answer those particular concerns or questions.
My best friends don't know the difference when my VA posts versus when I post, because he knows what I sound like, what my humor is. And it's hilarious to me now because they're like, oh my gosh, that post was so funny. And I'm like, what post? And they're like, oh, the one you put up this morning. What? And it's not me, but they think it is. And this is like best friend, sister. Yes, because VAs pick up on that and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like VAs as an extension of yourself, something like that. Yeah. And we can proceed with the next strategy, and that would be automated messaging. Now, this is primarily used on LinkedIn, but you can use any third-party companies to do this. With us, we're using My LinkedIn Solutions. Now, for automated messaging, one thing that we notice is majority of the users are using this to promote their service. But I would like to let you know, guys, that you can also use automated messages on different ways. Sample of this would be Favos LinkedIn account. On Favos LinkedIn account, we're not just using automated messages to just send information about the product or service, but we also, use this for holiday greetings. And we also use this to invite to a sponsored webinars that Virtudesk is going to host. And it's okay if you only have around 50 or 100 connections on LinkedIn. That's fine. You could go ahead and send them a message individually. But if you're like Favel with 10,000 connections, it will take you months before you can finish all the list of sending this particular messages. And this is also one way of you nurturing your leads, making sure that you're still engaged with them. And just to let you know, guys, this doesn't end on the automated messaging, of course. You need to ensure that you will also respond to those messages after it was initially sent. So if someone greet you Happy New Year, of course, you will also respond to those messages. If someone responded to your invitation to join the webinar, then that's something also that you can do. Again, not all messages should be answered by your VA. If there are important messages that you should answer, then that's a time that you would go ahead and take over with the messages. And your VA can also help you filter those type of messages. So the VA can tell you, hey, this is an important message. You could go ahead and answer this instead of me. So this also saving some time, you know.
Oh, sorry. I'm cracking up because I'm realizing these messages that I get from Pavel sometimes aren't Pavel. I'm like, I see him in person. So wait a second. You mean those messages weren't Pavel?
Some of them are automated messages, but then again, you should have a VA, or you yourself. We should be ready to answer follow-up questions about your service or any responses coming from these automated messages, because you just don't post and then ghost. You should also engage with them. That's the usage of automated messaging for initial conversation, but you need to continue the conversation by answering those questions or inquiries. And
we did have a question that came in that says, how do you find leads on TikTok? It seems like an entertainment focused platform. And I know it is a social media, but that's not one of the ones that we were really focusing on today. I know that they've had, and I've talked to her and done Zooms with her, and I am blanking on her name right now, but she was just with you guys at dinner. She has like 100,000 followers on TikTok, and she does all the Virtudesk TikToks. I know that they've covered TikTok before with her, so I definitely don't want to, always repeat information. But that's not really our focus today, because we were really focusing on kind of the lead generation spots, right? And TikTok isn't really quite the lead generation; it's more video content.
Like informative video content, something like that. For TikTok, actually, what you can do is you can redirect your leads to your website, so that way the CRI can catch up with the information, and then that's also generating leads. But if we're talking about direct search, like searching for posts of people interested in your service, then I guess it would be best if you will be focusing on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. So those are the best platforms that we have so far.
And a lot of times I'll use the content from TikTok to share on Facebook, LinkedIn, that type of thing, where it's going to get more people that when they comment or do something like that, I can respond to them and find their information if necessary.
Right. So you're repurposing your content to other social media platform, right?
Always work smarter, not harder. Always repurpose.
Exactly. Aside from that, you could also set up your social media lead generation virtual assistant can also set up and manage lead generation ads. So it's the same concept, guys. Instead of you just promoting your products or service, you could also attach some valuable resources to your post, like ebooks, checklist, or if you want, you could also invite them to join your community if you have any, let's say on LinkedIn or on Facebook. So it's still promoting value while trying to promote your service. So it's a win-win situation.
We also had a question from John, very detailed report. Just want to ask, how many times do you follow up with your leads in your CRM? Now, I know mine is set up where it's day one, they get like 2 follow-ups, and we continue to follow up for years. It's just more spaced. But what do you suggest?
Well, it really depends on the consultants. So they will be the ones going to follow up on your leads if you have any. But if you're a solo agent, of course, it's really up to you as to what would be the metrics that you will be setting up for follow-up. It's a different thing if you will be nurturing the lead for marketing. You could set up, of course, automated emails to be sent to this type of lead, so that even though you're not responding, or even though you're not messaging them directly, still the system would still be providing them resources relevant to what they need. So it's still a form of follow-up,
Absolutely. Awesome. So this is setup and management of lead gen ads, which was a question that we had. So let's see.
Okay. And aside from setting up and managing lead generation ads, another thing that you can do on your social media platform is you could host virtual events or social media conference like this. Okay. And remember, Laurie, we also have our Leverage Summit 3.0 last March 29. So that's something that you could also use to generate leads. A good thing about this type of virtual events, guys, is you're not just getting new leads, but you're also nurturing existing leads and also existing customers, because some of you are already customers of Virtudesk, but you still would like to know about the things that your virtual assistant can help you with. So you're not just getting leads, but you're also nurturing your existing customers. And one thing that your social media lead generation virtual assistant can do is set up events like this on LinkedIn. We call this LinkedIn events. So after the event, usually it will provide you a detailed report about the audiences that you were able to get from that particular event on LinkedIn. So for example, this will be the audience demographics. So as you can see, for real estate brokers, we have 33. So we have around 33 participants coming from LinkedIn that are real estate brokers. So that way it will give you an insight as to what type of post you would like to be seen on your LinkedIn account, as well as the type of leads that you will be targeting, since they are most engaged in this particular content.
That's awesome. I love hearing the ways in which you're helping other people get leads and to get virtual events for themselves. It's awesome. I love to see people take that on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess we're done with the social media lead generation strategies. Now let's talk about the things that we are doing after we're able to search for these leads on different social media platforms. So of course, after we're able to gather all the information and all the leads on different social media platforms, we upload it to the CRM, which is Follow Up Boss. We also ensure that the contact information is correct and verified. And if in case, aside from that, we're also going to assign this leads, of course, to our consultants so that they can contact this leads that we found on the platforms. And aside from that, if you will be using or if you will be nurturing the leads through marketing emails, you need to ensure as well that they are properly tagged. So for example, if we found a lead that is working in the real estate industry, we would like to send them only real estate related content, not about therapy or something, right? So that would be awkward. So that's something that
therapy is sometimes covered by real estate brokers going through transactions, especially in today's market. So don't count therapy out.
Yeah, that could be, yeah. But what we're trying to do here is we try to properly segment them so that they will only be getting relevant content on the services that we offer. Okay. So that's something that your virtual assistant or your social media lead generation virtual assistant can help you as well. And after the post lead generation process, these are some of the tasks that you can generate to a social media lead generation virtual assistant. I guess majority of which I already discussed, but just a recap, again, you can use your social media lead generation virtual assistant to search and engage with potential leads, schedule consultation calls, managing ads, and also creating reports on the lead mining performance or lead generation performance. So, and this is the sample start of day and end of day report that we're sending to our client. This is pretty standard. If you're going to hire a virtual assistant from Virtudesk, we are required to send start of day and end of day reports. So for start of day reports, guys, of course, we put in all the things that we will be doing for the day. If there are any pending projects that we're not able to finish, the other day, we're going to add it under pending projects or pending in projects. And if there are any ad hoc tasks, that's something also that we could add on the start of day report. And of course, if there's a start of day report, there's an end of day report. So these are the tasks that we're able to complete within the day. If there are also other pending tasks that we're not able to finish, that will be added under pending tasks or projects. And if there are new tasks provided by our clients, that will be added under assigned for tomorrow. So if in case you would like to assign another task to your VA, then you could go ahead and add it on the assigned for tomorrow. Okay.
Those are my favorite, just so you know, my start of day and end of day. I feel like I get just little snapshots of all the stuff that they do. But like I said, I don't have any idea how to do social media, but my social media looks great thanks to my Virtudesk VAs.
Exactly. And one thing or one of the advantages of having start of day and end of day report is it gives you a structure or, setting the expectation of the things that you would like to get by the end of the day. So one thing that is really challenging is if your VA don't have any structure of the things that he will be doing for the day. So setting this up is really important before the start of the day. And Yep. If you are planning to build a virtual team for lead generation, this is how it would look like. Now, if you're just starting out, let's say you're a solo agent, I highly suggest that you just, hire a lead generation specialist, since that is still a small team. But if your business is growing, you need someone to focus on different things. So this is how the structure would look like for a virtual lead generation team. Of course, you need to have a team leader for lead generation. The team leader would create and execute lead generation strategies and processes, set goals and KPIs for the lead generation team, like the target for the week, the platform that needs to be focused on. He or she can also focus, he or she can also generate reports and assess the overall lead gen performance, and also provide coaching to the team members if necessary. So you don't need to do it by yourself. Okay. So that's something that you can delegate to a team leader. And of course, you also need to have a data miner. So for the data miner, this VA can focus on the database management part. So he will be the one to upload all the leads found at different social media platforms to your CRM, making sure that all the information is correct and checked. And also if there are notes that needs to be added, data miner can also help you with that. Can also help you with researching with other lead sources. So for example, last month, we've been checking on a different platform called Visfluence. I don't know if you're familiar with it, Laurie. It's like LinkedIn, but it's a different platform. So that's something that your
What was
data
the name
miner.
of it?
Visfluence, BIZ, and then fluence, like influence, something like that.
I'm not familiar with it at all. So I'm learning so much today. It's awesome.
Right, because we're able to see that it's like LinkedIn, but right now it's still in its infancy stage. So we're still checking the platform if we could possibly get quality leads from there. So that's something that your data miner can research on. And of course, if you are uploading content on your YouTube account or different social media platforms, your data miner can also help you in sharing those content to different social media platforms. That way it can promote engagement and also impressions. And of course, you need to have the lead generation specialist. For the lead generation specialist, he or she will focus on searching for potential leads on different social media platforms, engage with the leads, like answering basic inquiries or providing resources, and also scheduling consultation calls. So this is how the structure would look like. And if you would like to start your team with Virtudesk, if you want to hire a lead generation specialist, you can start with an admin virtual assistant who would do all the things that I mentioned a while ago. But if you need someone to contact those leads found in different social media platforms, you could hire a prospecting virtual assistant to help you with that. And also, if you want to have the all-in-one package, like you need someone to help you with admin, prospecting, as well as marketing, then might as well get an executive virtual assistant, because an AVA or executive virtual assistant can help you with all those things.
And you don't have to stop with just one.
Yes.
It's kind of like Lay's potato chips, people. Once you get an executive virtual assistant, they actually can manage. I don't know if you've ever seen Tristan and I do kind of the diagrams that I have of virtual assistants and that Tristan has. You have the executive virtual assistant who can actually manage the other virtual assistants. And it's awesome. Like, you literally get so much done in a day and you're just like, oh, how do I do that? Oh, that's right, my team. So it's pretty awesome.
Exactly. I agree with you, Laurie. So I guess we're all set. Any questions, guys, regarding the presentation?
Well, I know we've answered like 7 or 8 of the questions that popped up during. I always try and watch the Q&A because I'm one of those people that I need like that instant response or I get frustrated. So I try and really monitor that always. And I just want to say, Ken, thank you so much for coming and sharing all this with us. You've got the people like me who definitely are not social media or lead management experts. And even though I have great lead management and great social media, it's due to my VAs at Virtudesk VA. So I just appreciate you so much for coming on and talking with us and educating us. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you again. And thank you everyone for joining us.
Exactly. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. Thank you. We appreciate your time.